You know the voice, you know the space, you know the deal. Whenever you hear that MVP chant, you already know what's going on. It's the most valuable podcast in the world. We back, baby. Yes, Sirski, the Hitmen podcast. Chris checking in. My partner MG. What's the deal, bro? How you feeling?
Well, good, buddy. Back like white walls on the Cadillac,
God
man.
damn. Back in the saddle, you feel me? It's good to hear from you, bro. I appreciate you pulling up on me, man.
Always. You already know the deal.
I felt like you remember Power Rangers when the Green Ranger had to use that little flute?
Man, what?
And then all the crazy shit started happening. I know everybody watched Game of Thrones yesterday, but that was the original. But like, I felt like that's how I felt when I put the back signal up. I had to have my brother pull up on me, man. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since we got down the pod like we needed to. Life hit me in the face. It hit me with a huge uppercut. So I was just telling you before we got off the air, like I had to take care of some serious family shit, change jobs, change my life. You feel me? So I felt like who I said Christian Bale when he was climbing out of that pit in Batman. But we good, man. God is real. Life is good. How's everything up in the D-Town? What's going on?
Chilling, man. Trying to deal with this weather, bro. It was 30 degrees the other day, not
30.
70.
Bro, I know I'm confusing people. I got a Scully on right now, but it was 70 in the shot.
Yeah, like, bro, but like a week ago, it was like 30. Like, what we doing?
I don't know. I was going to say, man, I hope you enjoying it, but it sounds like you going through it up top.
Man, look. I don't know what's going on.
Keep
out here
hustling,
right
big
now.
dog. Keep hustling. Lions doing good, though. You feel me?
I mean, that ain't
I
my
know.
team no more anyways.
I
You
know.
already know.
You done
I
already
can't
shit.
really
You
say
know,
that. My team ain't doing nothing anyways right now.
the ship done sailed, man. But
We ain't
time
doing
we coming
nothing
around the
right
corner. Times is changing, big dog. We appreciate y'all holding us down, man. I know y'all been kind of waiting. A lot done happened. My dog ate my homework. You feel me? All that shit that happened. But we back though. We back though in a major way. Before we get down to, the big dog business, want to let y'all know that we everywhere that podcasts live, right? Let me see if I remember how to do this. It's been a minute. Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor, all of that. You feel me? Make sure y'all tap in with us in the mailbag, the hitmenpodcast@gmail.com. Also, check us out on the socials at Hitmen Podcast, at Labeled and Known, at Virtuoso Sports on Twitter. I got a question for you.
Shoot.
When you're thinking about the best athlete actors, right? Not the best actors that play athletes, but the best athlete actors. Who is like the top performer in sports movies of all time? Because I've been watching Any Given Sunday like every other day for real.
LT.
And I was just finna say that LT did a great job. He did a phenomenal job in the movie. Like he made you believe, like obviously he a football player, but like not too many basketball players or football players like can act. Like let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100. Ray Allen is a terrible actor. You know what I'm saying? I know you was thinking that already. Like he was terrible and he got game, but he hooped though. You know what I'm saying?
He was pretty bad.
Not pretty bad. He was trash bag. You feel me?
Him and Walter McCarty. Yikes.
But when you think about, so you think LT is the top of the crop?
LT's up there. You gotta count Jim Brown, obviously.
The same movie for sure. Right. He played a assistant coach.
Yeah, and he did a
defensive
lot of
coach.
the blaxploitation movies back in the day too.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. Good point.
Mm-hmm. I think he was in a movie with Pam Grier.
Yo, check this out. So we talked about who was vampires back in the day, like a while ago. Like who we thought which entertainers was vampires.
Pam Grier.
But look though, this is the thing though. I've been trying to get this over for a while. Do you think in another world, like Pam Grier could have been Megan Thee Stallion's mom? Like you know how close they look, like how similar they look.
I never thought about it until you just mentioned it.
We gotta put like a side by side up.
I can see the similarities though.
Right. So when we talking about athlete, do you count Dave Bautista as a quote unquote athlete? And like I mean, because he was in Guardians of the Galaxy and he was in like a bunch of other. He was in the James Bond movie and all of that. Did that count?
I mean, if we count wrestlers,
I mean, it's up to you. I don't know.
That means you gotta go with The Rock over Batista, right?
But he not like a good actor though.
You,
Like, let's
you
keep
know
it.
me,
Let's
I
keep
ain't a
it.
Rock. You know me, I ain't a Rock fan.
I
so,
do know.
like-
I do know.
But I'm trying to think, huh? I mean, we gonna talk about MJ and Space Jam?
Or LeBron in Space Jam 2.
Oh, I never watched it.
You didn't?
No,
I didn't either. But I ain't finna keep sending side swipes. So real quick though, just to talk about a little bit of like what delayed us from getting back to the money. The last time previously on Ready to Die, I was covering Game 1 of the NBA Finals, right, in San Francisco. Had some huge family news hit me, and it had me down for a while, for months, bro. But in the midst of the finals, like I was kind of just going through the motions in a sense. I did okay on the job, but it's not up to the part that I'm used to doing. Obviously, the Warriors won the chip, but after Game 1, I was moving around so much, and my mind was all over the place. I ended up losing my camera on the road. My hard drive got damaged while I was on the road, so I couldn't record. I couldn't shoot nothing. We couldn't we basically couldn't pod for real without starting all the way over. After that, covered some WNBA. WNBA is lit. Shout out to the ladies for holding it down. But just was like my mind was all over the place, bro. My mind was really on family, and I just couldn't get back to being me. I really just had, like I said, the proverbial climbing out of that hole, but just turning your brain off and just putting one foot in the other. That was probably been the best thing for me. So I'm getting back to feeling like me, getting back to feeling like myself. And the NBA coming back is definitely a big help. We 1 week into the season, and it's already starting off with a bang, but I just felt like I had to really like shut everything off, shut everything down. So shout out to the people that love and support me, that know the real spiel. I wouldn't have been able to get back to doing what I love doing if it wasn't for y'all. So they're gonna be in the credits, but you a big part of that, big dog. So I appreciate you. Like I said, I put the back signal up, and you was like, let's get to it.
Hey, it go both ways, man. Certain points I reach out to you, check on you. You do the same to me. So
Hell yeah.
You already know.
All right, man. With no further to do, let me see if I remember how to do all of this, bro.
Wop the band.
There we go. Yeah, Sarsky. So like I said, we're 1 week into the NBA season. It started off with a big bang, a big punch. I don't know about you. I already kind of got my end of the season awards going, but word around the campfire has not really been about what's on the court more so than what's been off the court. And I ain't really want to touch a lot of that anyway. But now that the NBA is in full swing, a full weekend, I might be jumping off the plank early, but I think it's between Ja Morant and Jason Tatum for MVP already out the gate, bro.
They up there for me. I got Steph up there.
Yeah, 2-on-1.
I got Steph up there.
2-on-1.
He giving you 30 pieces almost every night.
He won the MVP at that practice, though.
I mean,
Usually they say point guards gotta have eyes in the back of their head. He was like, he was sweeping the floor.
Hey, he wasn't the only one sweeping the floor. Yeah, I mean, I try to wait till we get to the 20 game mark, just because teams get off the start, fast starts, slow starts, and you really don't know who's who until about 20 games in, and then probably at the 40 game mark too. So, if we're just going based off the first three.
No, I'm bullshitting. I'm just saying I like what I see out of the first week. Like you can kind of see who's setting the tone or moving with a mark at the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
like
so
Memphis is not playing around.
You gotta throw Dame in there too.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, they actually are they up right now? Did they beat the Nuggets?
Won.
They did.
Oh, they smoked them.
They did. Yeah.
Yeah,
After they bust down the Lakers, they and then he was talking crazy to Aiden the other night at the free throw line. Got him out of his zone. Got him out of his head. I feel it though. Yeah, and Dame back, like you said, he come back with a vengeance. He was sidelined at the end of last season with that stomach injury. And a lot of skepticism was going around about him, whether or not he should walk out, should He asked for a trade. He was trying to stay down, stay loyal. He ended up getting that Supermax from Portland. They made a couple moves, nothing like earth-shattering, but obviously it didn't really affect Dame because he's like, it started in with me for real. So
yeah,
I get you.
I mean, we had Jeremy Grant with the game winner against LA.
Yeah.
Anthony Simon's back because he missed the tail end of last season too because he got hurt.
Who does he look like?
He went on that run.
Who does he look like? Yeah, who does he look like, bro?
He that's a football player, but I can't put my finger on it. But he definitely looked like a football player. I just can't put my finger on who it is.
Another thing, like I said, getting back to talking about Jason Tatum, one of the things that jumped out to me was obviously like everybody was salivating over Wembanyama in the preseason game, and we was like, all right, the Spurs is definitely tanking, the Jazz is definitely tanking because they had a fire sale. Excuse me. But they've been killing teams.
Yeah. Yeah, for now, and I mean, eventually, I mean, this kind of does help both of them at least for the time being, because a lot, especially like Utah, who probably gonna get rid of guys like Conley and Clarkson. They just building up their trade value right now, so it kind of helps them right now. But they got to be careful not to win too many, because you don't want to look back and at the end of the season you like, damn, if we didn't win them first 3 or 4 games.
Exactly, they're gonna be counting their blessings at the end of it.
Yeah.
Man, on top of all of this, while we're on the subject, I'm trying to do this recording, but the podcast princess got me sick. We was trying to kick it. I thought she loved me, bro. She looked me in my eyes last week. I thought she was going to kiss me on my lips. She got right up on me and coughed dead in my face. That was all she wrote. So I was down bad for 3 days, bro. So please excuse me. Bear with me. I'm trying to make it through. Anyway, Jason Tatum and the Celtics, they played the Bulls tonight. Joe Mazzulla got thrown out. I think Grant Williams got thrown out.
Yep.
And the Bulls ended up smoking them at the end. But the Celtics done started off hot, and Jason Tatum been going crazy these first few games. So I had him out of the gate as he got named Player of the Week. Him and Dame got named East and West Players of the Week. So that's kind of what I've been on. And then on top of that, like I said, Demetrius Jamel Morant II, Ja Morant, tearing a hole in these teams' ass game after game after game. Tonight, they ended up beating the Nets. Him and Desmond Bain. Desmond Bain had 38 points tonight, 32 in the second half.
Yeah, both of them had 38.
Yeah, bro. But they letting it be known, like, last year wasn't a fluke. They coming in hot, too, man.
Yeah. I mean, they got stomped out by Luka the other day, though. That boy Luka came out with like 21 in the first, and
True.
game was over in the first quarter, basically.
True.
But Desmond Bain looks to be taking a step forward, which is probably the most important thing for that team right now, because clearly Jaren Jackson isn't going to be a long-term second option offensively.
Nah, I don't think so either.
Obviously, Dylan Brooks, he gonna shoot you out of more games than he win you. So it's good to see Bain stepping up. I like Desmond Bain. He got that feistiness. He got that dog in him that I like seeing out of players.
Has Memphis ever had like a 2-guard for real? Like in the history of Memphis?
Like a real 2, like that dude kind of 2-guard?
Yeah, even when they was Vancouver, did they had like, who was their 2-guard for real? Bonzi Wells?
Yeah, they had Bonzi at one point, but they was already in Memphis, but Bonzi was never like that dude.
Yeah, he wasn't the man. It was like Powell, Stroman, Swift, Bibby.
Yeah, so I don't think they've ever had like, I mean, unless you want to count Rudy Gay maybe like early in his career, but he was he played like the 2 and the 3.
Yeah, I wouldn't count that.
Hey, young Rudy Gay was a dog. What you mean?
Man, he was like the prototype for before Iguodala, like a super stat stuffer, but he wasn't like, you feel me, the go-to. That's just me, and I like Rudy Gay. You know what I'm saying? I bang with UConn, but nah.
Yeah, I don't think they've ever had like a real like that dude 2-guard.
You want to talk about the Lakers or you want to move around? Because everybody talking about it, dog.
We can talk about them.
So
That's not a problem.
So I got a couple things to say. Not really about the Lakers, but just about the others, like specifically the Sixers. If they didn't win tonight, they ended up beating Indiana. I feel like if they didn't win tonight, if they lost, if they started out their first 10 games under 500, I felt like Doc was gonna get fired at some point. Still might, and I hate to see it, but like, it just felt like Embiid and Harden have been taking turns back and forth, as opposed to really like letting the flow of the offense get them situated, because they were one of the favorites to, you know what I'm saying, the preseason favorites to make it all the way, and they got smacked.
The James Harden team to go all the way. We know what that man is in the playoffs.
It ain't just him though. I put all the chips in the middle of the table on Embiid. Like, he been right there for MVP the past 2 years. Some people say he got robbed last year. Some people say like he been crying too much, or he was campaigning too much, and that turned people off from it. But at this point, it's like the other night he was a dog, and then he had a trash night. Tonight he did all right, but James Harden been balling. You know what I'm saying? I know like the reputation is out there, but he been doing his thing though.
He has. I mean, they need to get some, more out of Maxey too.
They need to get more out of everybody, not to mention the fact that they turned it into the Houston Rockets, and that was the other. Yeah. That's like the other shoe to drop when it come. If Doc Rivers get fired, who's the next coach up to kind of? Yeah.
Well, I mean, the big problem is Maxey's a point guard, but he's got to play off ball now because of Harden.
Right.
And then you got Harden and Joel, and they both play iso ball basically, and then you got Tobias, who most nights you don't even know he's there outside of his contract. The bench ain't as deep. Like, they have the worst scoring bench in the league right now.
Why Matisse Thybulle ain't playing? Do you know?
I'm assuming it's because he can't shoot.
Ben Simmons playing. That ain't no excuse.
I mean, that's a different team. And you see Ben Simmons, some of the performances he's got. Kyrie's already got irritated with him at certain points.
He fouled out again tonight. This is the second foul out in 3 games.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think Philly's only averaging, at least going into tonight's game against the Pacers, I think they were only averaging like 11 bench points a game, if I remember hearing that right on commentary.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that they turned it into the the Philadelphia Rockets, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I seen somebody the other day, I can't remember which channel I was watching, said that maybe the league has just passed up Doc Rivers in terms of playing style, and it might be true. I think the way Philly plays is horrible. And I don't know what teams are so afraid of to really slow it down, play through Joel on the block. It would make everybody's life so much easier.
They picked up Daniel House. They picked up Montrezl Harrell. Who else from the Rockets did they get?
PJ
Tucker, you feel me? And they got D'Antoni as assistant coach.
And they got DeAnthony Melton from Memphis.
They Shake Milton from Memphis. So you already know, like, the writing seem to be like it's on the wall. So if they don't get it together soon, I wish that we wouldn't even be talking about it like this. But the fact is, like, it's black and white, bro. Like, y'all got high expectations. Everybody said that Philly, won a trade for Ben Simmons for James Harden, and now it's just like, all right, it's time to show and prove. And so far so bad, for real.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and I don't like the way they play offense. Like, I hate watching Joel catch it fucking 16 feet out every play.
Right,
like,
and
bro,
then shooting jumpers.
Get on the block. Yeah, get on the block, bro. You bigger than everybody in the league. Get on the block.
Shaq been on him all week talking about, man, you gotta catch the ball deep in the paint and then go to work.
Yeah.
And then he looked tired too. He been fatigued. He take half the first quarter off, and then you don't hear from him again until very late in the fourth, if at all. The other night he didn't score. I think he scored like 4 points in the fourth quarter. The other night.
Well, that's another reason why he's tired, because he's catching it 16 feet out. He got to do all the extra movement, the dribbling and the driving and all of that.
Word.
You catch it down low, you don't gotta. You bigger than everybody, so you don't gotta do it. You don't gotta exert as much energy to catch the ball down there and get your shot off. But when you out here trying to Kyrie Irving dudes, and you 7 feet tall like that, and like doing all the turnaround, all the acrobatic, like, bro, like you tiring yourself out.
What'd you think of Paolo?
Oh, I told people before that was my favorite player in the draft. I told people going back to the beginning of the college season.
He ready, right?
I told you from the first time I seen him play in college, he jumped
ready
off the screen,
and he don't look scared of nobody.
He had an NBA ready move set.
Yeah,
like, you
for
don't
sure.
see guys with the triple, because the triple threat, the spin move, like the pull up, like the first game I watched him, he was shooting the turnaround and all of that, like triple threat. Like, he's got one of the best like ball fakes out of the triple threat. Man, look.
You see him the other night against the Celtics?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
And the thing I like about him right now, and you've already seen it, he is physically stronger than a lot of
Word,
NBA players.
yes, exactly.
He gets to the bucket and he plays through the contact easily.
I thought it was gonna be Keegan Murray.
I didn't see Keegan's the one I'm probably gonna be wrong on. I did not like him coming into the draft.
I didn't either. But I thought it was gonna be between him and Jaden Ivey for Rookie of the Year. But
my two dudes
it look
coming
like
in,
Paulo right now.
Because I used to tell Justin, I was telling Justin this all college season. My two dudes was Paulo and Ben Mathurin.
Mm-hmm. And he talking trash too though. You seen him?
Oh, I mean, he said what he said about LeBron.
You heard?
But I've been sold on Ben Mathurin all college season, pretty much, and being like that TCU game in the tournament really solidified it for me. He was the number 2 guy on my draft board.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I had them 2, and I had Ivy at 3rd. So, and the only reason I had them ahead of Ivy was because of the size and the shooting that Ivy don't have. Ivy just has the athleticism.
He's speedy. He fast.
Yeah.
He fast, bro.
Oh, he's already the best player on the Pistons. I said it.
Ain't that wild? Ain't that wild? Y'all, well, not y'all. Like I keep wanting to put you in there. I know the Pistons ain't your team, but that's crazy though. They've been waiting for something like that for a minute, bro.
Bro, you go back to that preseason game against OKC where him and Cade both blocked. I can't remember who it was. You can see the clear difference in athleticism between Cade and Jay Ivey. And then even if you look at you see Cade play, and then you watch some of the people from his own draft class last year, like a Evan Mobley or Jalen Green. There's a clear athleticism gap. And then you look at the guys this year, Paolo and Ben Mathurin. And I mean, Keegan just played his first game the other day. He played his second game today. But you look at some of the other guys who's been higher draft, Jaden Ivey, there is a clear gap in athleticism in for some of these guys shooting ability from Cade, like Paolo and Mathurin obviously are better shooters than Cade already. So it's Cade never looked like he was that dude to me.
Yeah, I think Jaden Ivey's gonna be a breath of fresh air for the Pistons, and for Cade specifically, it's gonna give him a ton of opportunities for assists, for them to change their offense up a little bit and running the floor. Because Jaden Ivey look like he the fastest player in the league right now, outside of John Wall and De'Aaron Fox. Yeah.
And then Josh got to be up there too. But
for sure, 1,000,000%.
But
1,000,000%.
If it was me, I mean, Jaden's not really a 2 guard. He's a little undersized. He's really undersized for that. He probably needs to be pushing point.
I agree. I was gonna say the same thing.
But I mean, again, Cade was the number 1 pick last year, and they're not gonna give up on him that soon. But I don't think Cade's that dude. I think we're gonna look back in 2-3 years and be Cade's all right. It's kind of like the Andrew Wiggins thing. He's all right.
You ready to trade AD to the Knicks yet, or what?
I mean, they could have been ready with AD. Trade both him and LeBron.
They can't trade LeBron. He's locked in for the whole year.
Yeah.
He can't go nowhere.
It don't matter now. You got to do something to get a first-round pick because if they stay bad like this, New Orleans is going to get Victor Wembanyama. So
and it's going to be canceled Christmas.
New Orleans own the pick swap this year. So
you think it's all Russ' fault though? I don't think it's all Russ' fault.
No, I think Russ is the scapegoat again.
For sure. I think he's an easy target. I think it's something that
talking about how
Anthony
Davis grabbed 1 rebound.
That's why I asked. That's what I said.
Nobody talked
in my
about
head, bro.
Anthony Davis has what? I think because I was just looking at this, he's got 7 fourth-quarter field goals through the first 3-4 games.
He's supposed to be 1A. He's supposed to be the silverback.
And that's the problem. He ain't that dude.
He's supposed to be the silverback on that team.
When's the And this is the thing. People look at the stats for Anthony Davis, whatever. Does he do his thing defensively? Yeah, but offensively, usually most of Anthony Davis's damage is done in the first half. You know what kind of game it's going to be based on how he get off to a start. But this is traditional Anthony Davis. He doesn't show up in the fourth quarter. And this has been that way since he's been with LA, outside of a couple of games in the bubble. He doesn't show up in the fourth, and that's why, again, in the finals that year, LeBron had to take over in the fourth, right? When they won the ship in the bubble. LeBron took over in the fourth, not AD. AD ain't that dude to close out games.
So what do you do with him? I asked.
You got 2 options.
I asked somebody on Twitter the other day. I'm like, would you trade Russell Westbrook for Ben Simmons straight up? Because the money will probably match up.
The Nets don't do that. Ain't no way.
Ain't no way they're going to do it, right?
No, the Nets don't do that because you got a guy in Ben Simmons that's younger and bigger.
Younger. That's the biggest thing is the age.
Yeah, younger and bigger, probably just as fast at this point in the end, and a better defender. So,
So you say they got two options. What's the options?
first option is you keep Anthony Davis and you actually get on him like Shaq gets on a lot of big guys and tell you get your ass in the post. All this I don't want to play the five. All this I don't want to. No, get your ass in the post. You can't shoot from outside. Stop shooting.
Boom. That's one.
Get in the post.
That's one.
Second option is you trade him and you look for a deal where you probably aren't going to get another big that's as good as Anthony Davis, but maybe you can get a decent big and something else, some other pieces to kind of fill out the roster. I don't think anything they do is going to help them win a championship this year, though.
I mean, the teams that would, because they're gonna want to haul even if that were to be possible. The team that would have came to mind for me would have been Charlotte, but the key piece to that would have been Miles Bridges. Obviously, that's a no go now.
I mean, Miles Bridges don't help them. And that's the thing. The Lakers are screwed because there's really not a deal right now out there that helps them.
They radioactive. Nobody's trying to help them win a championship at all.
No, and on top of that, because they're not trading Anthony Davis. LeBron can't be traded, so now.
And don't nobody want to trade for Russ.
No, well, even if you look at the deal for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, and all the Lakers have to do is throw in 2 first-round picks. If I'm the Pacers, I want 3 first-round.
I want 3, at least,
because now you guys are really bad and you're chasing the title.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. Miles Turner ain't even really played yet. Like we got Jalen Smith and who's the other big they got out there? Isaiah, what is it? Isaiah, I can't remember his name, but they got they big, right? They got Ben Mathurin, who not even starting yet, and Chris Duarte and Ty Halliburton.
Yeah.
Like I don't need Buddy Hield in Miles Turner. This is a luxury for me, and you guys are desperate. So now you got to give me 3 first-round picks.
Mm-hmm.
And now I don't want to take on Russ's contract. You got to find a third team to take Russ's contract. Like I'm not gonna cut you. What was it? Yesterday's price and today's price?
You heard.
I have no reason to help the Lakers out at this point, so I can probably find a better deal for Buddy Hield than what the Lakers can offer. So the Lakers are going to end up having to give something to get something.
What about Bam in Miami?
For Anthony Davis?
I mean, put the pieces together, but that would be like kind of what it's centered around. Bam.
The only problem I have with that is it's in terms of on the court production, you're getting the same thing for both teams. Bam don't want to get in the post either. Bam shoot a bunch of jumpers. Bam is less aggressive offensively. And he's probably, you could argue, he's just as good a defender as AD right now.
So what that tell me is for real, like when it comes to a comparable big, a two-way big, there isn't one.
Yeah,
and that speaks more. That speaks more to how we like overhyping Anthony Davis though, because when you think about like that, when you think about that upper echelon of bigs that would be worth it, it's like Giannis, is Joel Embiid, is Jokic, is I guess Anthony Davis, but like who else is out there like doing that?
I think Anthony Davis has been overhyped, and this has been my issue with him for the longest. He can't create his own shot. He's not a great jump shooter. Only has ever been a great jump shooter maybe 1-2 years out of his career. I don't know where this idea of him being a great jump shooter came from, but if you look at like his numbers through the years, he's not a good jump shooter.
And the best player on your team can't be a 38-year-old man, bro. That's just the bottom line. And for you to legitimately think that y'all got a chance at winning a championship. I think LeBron gonna flip the switch, and he gonna be like, fuck winning games. I'm going for Kareem. I don't care what this season look like. I'm going for my 40, my 30, my 35, and 8 every night.
JJ Redick is already pushing the narrative.
What did he say?
Oh, he said this season ain't about the Lakers winning or not. He said it's about celebrating LeBron. He said that on national television.
Damn.
That so they're already starting to push the narrative that this season don't matter. The only thing that matters is LeBron surpassing Kareem. That's all that matters and LeBron gets football coverage, if that makes sense.
I get you. Yeah.
Where it's like a quarterback, right? Like if a quarterback is having a decent statistical season but they're not winning, there's no pressure on the quarterback. They're
Yeah,
just happy the quarterback did something,
it's
right? But
wall to
like,
wall coverage for sure.
yeah, it's pretty much he don't get covered like traditional basketball players. Because if somebody would have said that about Jordan when Jordan came back, it would have been. I mean, they kind of used that argument against Jordan. Oh, the Wizards years and all of that. Well, can we use the Lakers years against LeBron in terms of him just caring about stats and
True.
winning the bubble title? That really, you could argue, the longer this Laker experiment goes on, the easier it is to argue that bubble title isn't as legitimate as people want it to be.
I thought that
I got 4 months off.
I thought that post game interview he had the other night was really weird though, because he mentioned Russ and he was just like, I ain't here to talk about Russ. But he kept talking about Russ, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
He's like,
now, I mean,
I ain't here to talk about his bad shooting, but our team ain't got no shooters on it. So we just a team. Like it was just a lot of like deflecting the blame, if that makes sense.
I mean, Russ is being scapegoated. I mean, is Russ an issue in terms of him just willing to accept that he ain't that dude no more and that he can't shoot? No, Russ ain't. I mean, Russ ain't never going to accept that apparently. But
it ain't just him though. It's Kendrick Nunn, like you said, it's Anthony Davis.
They're undersized on the perimeter.
They don't got a Rondo in there to get in nobody's face and to check them. They don't got
even at that defensively. Like you throw in Lonnie Walker, Kendrick Nunn,
who's not a shooter,
Beverly, and Russell out there. All of them are undersized
and can't shoot.
Even defensively, who are they matching up with once we get a switch? Like, I mean, Pat Bev was getting torched by Dame the other night.
Thomas Bryant isn't back yet, is he?
No. Which that might help a little bit in terms of rebounding because they have not been a good rebounding team so far.
Right.
And he'll give them a little sport spacing because Thomas Bryant can shoot the ball a little bit, but their issues go beyond just play style. It's a roster issue.
Who's the third best player on that team? Austin Reeves?
Right now, Lonnie Walker.
Lonnie Walker.
Right now, Lonnie Walker. And I like Lonnie, but he's athletic, but he's pretty much Malik Monk without the
jumper,
3-point shooter that you got last year. So
Malik is up there with Fox in Sacramento now.
Yeah, and here's the thing: at this point in LeBron's career, and y'all know I hate LeBron, but at this point in his career,
damn,
he can't be the best scorer on your team.
Negative.
The Lakers need to try to. That's the fix to the Lakers. They need somebody who is a better scorer than LeBron right now. That way, LeBron can sit back, give you 20. Well, he's chasing numbers right now, but after he passes Kareem, whatever, he can sit back and give you 20. Because this has always been the thing. If LeBron could just sit back and give you 20 a game, now at this point in his career, give you those little, 8, 9 assists, whatever, and give you way more defense than he gives you now, that makes your team a lot better. A lot better.
Last little, like, I guess conspiracy theory, and then we're gonna get on some NFL. The one quote unquote big idea forget to mention is Draymond. Is there anything that the Warriors could, in your mind, could do to put together a situation to get Draymond to LA for AD?
No.
Nah.
Because Draymond don't help LA. And as much as LeBron loves Draymond at this point, as much as the love affair they're having right now, shout out to Iguodala.
Shout out to Iguodala.
But that LeBron isn't insane enough to think that Draymond is going to help him more than AD is. Because at this point, Draymond's older, less athletic, can't shoot free throws, not a good rebounder. Okay, yeah, he can pass the ball, but LeBron needs scorers, not passers, right?
I mean, but like you said, if you're looking for a Bundini Brown, like he could be the Lakers' Iguodala. You feel me? Because Iguodala is essentially a player coach at this point.
Well, Iguodala was coming off the bench; he wasn't starting.
True, good point.
Trade Anthony Davis for a guy who's a bench role player. Nah, I'm not doing it.
But I mean, how would you categorize the Lakers right now? Are they an offensive team? Are they a defensive team?
They're neither.
They're neither, right?
They're neither, but I'm not taking Draymond. Don't help you. He makes you worse if you're the Lakers.
I get you. I
Like,
I was spitballing.
If you were gonna send Draymond to Brooklyn, so to speak, and play the Ben Simmons role, then sure. Mm-hmm. But replacing Anthony Davis with Draymond makes you a worse team because you lose the little bit of offense that Like the gap between Draymond and AD defensively, it's a little gap, right? But the offensive gap that you're losing 20-something points a game with AD and replacing it with Draymond 6 triple, it's triple single.
That's the difference for sure.
Yeah, I ain't touching Draymond if I'm the Lakers. It just doesn't help them at all.
Let's talk NFL real quick.
Let's get it.
Jimmy G let the 49ers down after they got the Christian McCaffrey trade. The Chiefs still the Chiefs, but they still like a step behind the Bills. Where is the Super Bowl at this year? I thought it was in Vegas for some reason, but it is. It is?
Or it's the Pro Bowl in Vegas. The Pro Bowl's in Vegas.
Where's the Super Bowl at?
But the
Arizona.
Okay, the Pro Bowl. It's the Pro Bowl that's in Vegas because that's the new thing they're doing with the new format or whatever.
Right. So let's look at the standings. We in week 7 already. Ain't that crazy?
Man.
At the end of week 7. The NFC East is looking like the toughest division in football, if you could believe that, as the words is coming out of my mouth. The NFC South look like the weakest division, if you could believe that, with the most famous or the most decorated NFL player in history. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are leading the division at 3-4. They done lost 2 in a row. They lost yesterday to the Panthers without any remnants of a real team, and then they lost to the Steelers the week before that to Mitch Trubisky, dog.
Lit up by Mitch, too. He always liked him up, though, even when he was in Chicago.
Sad. Patriots lost tonight, though. I had money on them. The Bears actually beat them. Ended up in Club Dub. Is this their first win of the season or second win? They beat the 49ers, too, out the gate, didn't they?
Yeah. Yep. So I think this is the second win.
Third win. They 3-4.
Third, yeah.
They 3-4, tied with Green Bay.
Was it the Falcons or the Texans? I think it was the Texans they beat, right?
Yeah, it was the Texans. And then Detroit is 1-5 in the North. So let's take a look at it. A lot happened over the weekend. The Seahawks, I got them as a sleeper pick to make the playoffs, but they just lost DK yesterday. The Jets, surprisingly, right behind the Bills in the AFC East division at 5-2, but they lost Rookie of the Year potential candidate Breece Hall. They stud running back towards ACL, so he out for the season.
They just got James Robinson from Jacksonville.
See, I never heard of him before. Am I tripping? I must be.
No, that's the dude who was balling out last year, too, and Urban Myers refused to play him, and Trevor Lawrence went to Urban and was like, you play that dude.
Why was they so quick to get rid of him then?
Because they got Travis. Yeah, because they got Etienne, but Robinson is a dog. He tore his Achilles last year, too, and still came back this year out the gate flaming.
Bam.
Yeah, so that's a very good replacement, and now I don't know how much longer Robinson's under contract, but I mean, if you're telling me next year you got Robinson and Breece Hall, bro, that might be the best running back tandem in the league next to Chubb and Hunt. Like,
word. The Jets did great with their rookie pickups though. Sauce Walker was all over the field last week against the Packers. He made fondue news with the cheese head out in Lambeau. Tua came back yesterday. Got the win after, what do you say? He had a back injury.
I mean, the back, the neck, you know.
My neck and my back.
Yeah, sure, too.
I ain't really get a chance to check that game out. I was watching Game of Thrones finale. Sorry.
Great finale.
But did you get a chance to check it out?
The game or the show?
Which one?
I definitely saw Thrones, but
for sure.
But that game specific, I didn't see that one. I seen a few other ones though.
Your Rams ain't looking too good either, man. And then on top of that, Kyler got Nuke Hopkins back, and it didn't make a damn bit of difference. I feel like he's doing everything he can to get his coach fired, including lighting him up on the sideline, telling him calm the F down. You feel me?
I mean, they won at least, but I mean, I think the problem with the Cardinals is that everybody's either blaming Kyler or blaming Cliff when the issue is both of them. If we're being honest,
and they ain't stopping nobody on defense either.
No, and the thing is, Kyler just got the contract, and Cliff got the contract too, but Kyler just got the contract. So like, and Cliff is the one who gonna go first, but I think both of them are the issue, for different reasons, obviously. And then the Rams, the defense. Look, Jalen Ramsey, he do a lot of talking for a dude who's only really been a true lockdown corner his rookie year.
For sure.
His rookie year was the only year.
It's alarming. It's alarming. And they look
old
old right now.
Man, and Sean McVay refuses to run the ball.
I mean, he ain't got nobody to run with. They should have went after James Robinson. For real.
They went after Christian McCaffrey. They went after him. They even offered Cam Akers on top of it. But
not hard enough. They went to a division rival shit.
But, I mean, it's Sean McVay. I mean, he just don't run the ball in general. Like, that's kind of been the big, like, crutch with him is, like, even last year was kind of an issue where they was winning some of these playoff games, and then he, instead of running the ball to eat the clock, he just keep throwing. So, and Stafford hasn't been good this year either. He's made a lot of bad throws, a lot of bad decisions on top of that, and then Aaron Donald has been MIA a little bit.
Another team ain't running the ball is Green Bay, bro. They looking old, dusty, crusty. They look like they on their last little pint of gas, little gallon of gas before they get pulled over on the side of the road and they little Pinto. You feel me?
Man, no receivers. Offensive line is not the same. Defense definitely ain't living up to expectations. Aaron Rodgers is, I mean, his leadership is clearly an issue, but, nobody wants to say it.
Meanwhile, Philly flying high, the Giants 6-1. Dallas got Dak back yesterday. Got up off the floor 5-2. And then we, we had the Kansas City Buffalo game. Buffalo finally got their lick back after being a little bro by Kansas City for the past 2-3 years.
Yeah, Buffalo looked like you could argue Buffalo looks like the best team in the league right now. I mean, I know Philly's undefeated, but Philly don't got Josh Allen. They got Jalen Hurts, but they don't got Josh Allen.
MVP?
Right now I probably lean towards. I probably lean. It's either Josh or Jalen.
I'm giving it to Josh Allen, bro. I think Philly record is a all encompassing thing. I think it's a group effort.
Yeah.
I think Buffalo is Von Miller and Josh Allen holding it down.
Yeah, because, I mean, they've been missing some defensive starters, too, in Buffalo.
And Von done turned up.
Yeah, I mean, Buffalo, I mean, they look pretty damn good.
Yeah, bro.
And in Philly, I mean, the thing I like about Philly is they got probably the best offensive line in the league and arguably the best defensive line in the league right now.
You know what's crazy, though? I don't know if it's weird to you. I don't know if it's just me, but, like, scoring is way down. Like, way, way, way down across the board in the league. Like, the stars that you would think would be at 5 or 6 touchdowns at this point, whether it's rushing or receiving. It's none of that. It's a lot of special teams. We've been seeing a bunch of games where it's like 12-9, 17-14. It's only been a couple shootouts. It's only been a few times across the past 7 weeks where quarterbacks had 3 passing touchdowns. A lot of it's been defensive stuff, special teams positioning, and field goal kickers is making a lot of bread this first half of the season because scoring is way, way, way down. I've been taking unders on a bunch of these games just to make sure I make some money out of this shit.
You got a lot of bad coaching, a lot of bad quarterback
play, a lot of mismanaged clocks, a lot of terrible timeouts, a lot of challenges that ain't worth a damn. And then, like, there's a bunch of 3-and-outs, a bunch of people going for fourths, going for shit on 4th down and not making it. It's just like, man, after a while, I've been turning games off. I'm not even going to front. I'm not even going to hold you.
Yeah. Because, I mean, in general, quarterback play this year has not been good. Outside of, obviously, Josh Allen, Mahomes, Lamar, Jalen Hurts.
Only a handful, though. You count on one hand who you can really rely on. Let me ask you this, though. Let me ask you this. We're going to do the game show a little early. Name me the starting quarterback for the Washington Commanders right now.
Oh, it's Taylor Heineke.
Is it?
Wherever you say his name.
Is it?
Yeah, because they benched Carson Wentz.
Name me the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts right now.
Sam Ellinger, because they benched Matt Ryan.
Name me the starting quarterback for Well, damn, Tua just came back. I was gonna say, who was it before Tua came back from the Dolphins?
It was Teddy Bridgewater. Then he got hurt.
And then boom, last one for the Houston Texans. Who's the starting quarterback?
Is it still? I can't never get his last name right. It's David. Is it David Mills or David Mills?
David Mills.
David, whatever his name is.
Bro, you passed.
And it was Tyrod as the backup at one point.
I would have got all of that wrong. I would have got all of that wrong. You feel me? I would have got all of that wrong. It's hard to keep up with it. It's hard to keep up with who's.
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett and P.J. Walker in Carolina right now. Marcus Mariota. Tannehill just got hurt, so our boy Malik Willis has finally got in. But
took long enough.
I mean, you talking about going back and forth between Trubisky and Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
Like, quarterback play this year has just been.
And they the ones getting the big dog money. They the ones with the chip and dip commercials. But scoring, like I said, scoring is way down, bro. Way down, bro. And for what it's worth, they always want to talk about offensive guru. He's an offensive genius. This coordinator is an offensive genius. He's a savant. Putting up fucking 13 points in a game. Come on, dog. They was getting on Byron Leftwich yesterday. Before the season started, they was like Byron Leftwich need to be the next head in the next head coaching pool.
I think Tampa Bay has got issues everywhere. Offensive line issues with guys retiring or leaving or injured, and then they can't run the ball. Offensively, I mean, Mike Evans is out here dropping touchdowns. Tom Brady has probably made a lot more bad throws this year than we've seen him make in a long time.
That's what happens when you're 45 years old, bro.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Godwin hurt or inconsistent and no Gronk. Like, AB obviously has been going for a minute, so they just don't have the overall talent or the youth or the healthy players. Like, it's an all-around bad situation right now down there. And then the defense was good to start off the year, but they're getting wore down.
Man, to be continued on the NFL. I ain't been impressed by any means. And it's crazy to think, like, the top teams in the NFC are, like, Philly, Dallas, New York, the Vikings, right?
Yeah. And honestly, I think a lot of that's going to end up working itself out because I don't see the Giants and the Giants and the Jets maintaining what they're doing, like, at all.
Let's get into these quick hits real fast. So Deontay Wilder won his fight over the weekend. Did you get a chance to catch that? I know we was locked in the UFC as well.
Yeah, I caught it. It ain't last long.
Nah, it didn't last long. But he a different Deontay Wilder now. Did you see the song? He did a music video. You saw that? He made a song?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Man, wilding out here right now. I get it, though. He trying to sell fights right now.
Come on, what is that? What is that?
Hey, man, some of the interest got lost after them Fury fights, man. So you got to sell. You got to make the interest go back up, man.
It wasn't even a rap. It wasn't even a rap song. It was an Afrobeat, R&B, super synthesis. What are you doing? What are you doing?
It's better.
Dog?
I mean, is it worse than Tyron Woodley?
True. Good point. Good point. Touche. So what we doing? It's Usyk and well, Fury retired. Then he say unretired because he getting a tune-up fight in. It might be Wilder and Ruiz next, right?
Yeah. I mean, all of this. I mean, if we just gonna be honest about it, the only fights we really want to see out of that division is Joshua and Usyk versus both Fury and Wilder. Like them, the four right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, the Andy Ruiz train is falling at this point. Like, it's just, but it's boxing, it's politics. So I mean, they'll never just cut to the chase and get the fights done. Like probably one of the other fights we're gonna talk about. But
we ain't gotta waste no time. I was just about to. That was a perfect segue. Speaking of which, like this fight that we've been waiting on for how long now? 3 years?
Longer than that.
So what's the latest in the soap opera between Bud and Errol Spence?
Last I heard was Bud was taking a fight in between in December, and Spence was like, I don't do
We supposed to got the fight in November though.
Yeah, and Spence talking about I don't do tune-up fights, and look, man, one of them is ducking. I can't say 100% for sure who's ducking, but one of them is ducking.
Imagine getting into a severe car accident and still being willing to fight. I think that's all the breadcrumbs we need to figure out who ducking who. You feel me?
I don't think it's Bud.
Nah.
I don't think it's Bud.
So you think he took the tune-up fight because he like, man, I'm done waiting on this clown?
I think some of it is the politics of the purse, obviously.
Yeah.
The split, obviously, of what the purse is, because Spence does have an ego, and I don't see him willing to take a 50-50 split.
And on top of that, they were trying to figure out where they was going to fight, too.
Yeah, because, I mean, Spence obviously wants to probably fight in the Cowboy.
He want a Cowboy.
Yeah. And I think it sucks because Bud's probably asking for more money than he deserves in terms of being the draw of the fight compared to Spence. But I also think Spence is probably trying to little man him in a lot of this too, because he has had the bigger, more like successful career in terms of popularity and being a draw too. So, I mean, plus we also get managers and all of the behind the scenes shit that play a lot.
It's real money. It's real money on the line though. Like,
yeah, especially and maybe and it could have flip flopped too, because maybe at the beginning of all of this, Bud was the one ducking, and now it's Spence, because I don't see. Spence has not looked great since the car accident, since the return from the car accident, right? And so I don't see a point in Bud feeling like he needs to duck him right now. Maybe before the car accident, I could see it, but now I don't. I mean, Spence has not looked like Spence, so maybe it flip flopped where one was ducking at first, and now that's the other one. Like, whatever it is, the politics of this just need to chill, because they're robbing the fans, and it's a legacy fight for both of them.
Word, we missing good fights, man. One last thing on boxing before we get into. I ain't gonna do rundown today. We're gonna do game show. Shakur Stevenson, he didn't make weight. Still won the fight, but didn't make weight.
What?
I think he was too heavy, and he was just like, his body can't get down to that weight anymore.
Oh yeah.
Right. So he's gonna be moving on to a different class. Undefeated though, right? Still.
Yeah. He's moving up, and I think who are we looking at? Loma, probably.
Ooh. And it's crazy because you can't even get too excited about stuff like that, because just the climate of the fight game right now is like, when you want them big fights, we're going to be waiting 5 years until we get something serious.
Yeah. Because, Loma's got to be what's next, right? Loma or, Haney?
Yeah, I've been waiting.
Haney just defended his, against Kambosos the other day, so.
So if anything, it'd be late next year if they did it, or mid next year, summertime.
Yeah, because Shakur probably needs a couple fights up in that division first. So.
Word.
But I mean, it sucks because Shakur really don't duck people.
Nah, I just thought it was crazy that they was trying to put smut on his name because he didn't make the weight. He's like, I've been doing everything I could. It's just the natural way your body move now. Like, I'm not gonna be that weight anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and he ain't never been known to be ducking people. So I mean, that's or being kind of off, kilter like that. So I mean, yeah, he just couldn't drop the weight anymore.
Let's do game show. We'll get back to the rundown in a minute. Y'all know it's holiday, so everything Big Dog is coming out November, December. But we're going to stay in boxing. So, perennial Hall of Famer Manny Pacquiao, right? Did you know that he was a two-sport professional athlete? Professional. I'm going to give you three choices. In addition to boxing, Manny Pacquiao is also a professional player in which sport? Is it A, badminton, B, volleyball, or C, basketball? You have 30 seconds to give me your choice. And your time starts now. Badminton, volleyball, or basketball?
The only other sport I know he plays is basketball.
So you going basketball? You sure?
Yeah.
We're gonna give it to you, Big Dog.
He's actually a professional? I know he just likes to play.
He was the 11th pick in the Philippine Basketball Association in 2014 at 36 years old.
Oh, God.
And he started as a player coach. That's crazy, right?
Look, I've seen the jump shot. Look, 11th pick, I've seen the jump shot. It ain't. Yeah, I get it. He loved the game, but boy, I didn't see the jumper. Nah.
If you was Manny Pacquiao and you just got drafted, give me your best Manny Pacquiao. Like, okay, Manny Pacquiao, you just got drafted into the PBA. How do you feel? What's your emotions? What's going through your mind right now?
What do you say? You've been like the.
You got to give me the voice. You got to do all of that.
Bro, you've been a minister and a boxing legend. What is there really to say?
MG, you got to give me the impression. You got to give me the Manny impression, bro.
I'm trying to think of what he would even say first.
You know, I just like to. You got to do all of that.
I don't even know what to say, bro. This is. I don't know. I guess he would sound like Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, they do. That's crazy.
Very blessed for the opportunity. I love the game. Like, what else would he say? Like, probably give you some mumbo jumbo about I love my teammates. Like, it's just
my kids and my wife and Philippine. Let me stop. Let me chill out.
Him and Anderson Silva talk almost the same.
And he boxing soon too. He about to box
Jake
one of the Paul brothers.
Yeah, Jake.
Right. Shout out.
They photo shoot.
Shout outs before we get up out of here.
Obviously family, especially this time of year.
1,000,000%.
I always give a shout out to them. Outside of that, man, shout out to the sports world, man. Because right now you got everything going on: football, basketball, hockey,
World Series,
combat sports, baseball. Like everything's going right now. As a sports fan, this is probably the greatest time of the year.
Real talk, straight up and down.
That's really about it for me.
Shout out to family, like you said, family over everything. Shout out to the podcast princess. My daughter has been keeping me alive and sane these past few months. So, Dion, Daddy love you. Thank you so much for being you. Thank you so much for giving me life. Shout out to the Reason to Doubt podcast, Joe Jack, Jay Sims, KD, AE Media. They had their first few live shows over the summer. I wish I could have made them, but I didn't get a chance to. But wanted to big my dogs up. Shout out Dino with Taper Talk. Shout out my brother Terry Rosen and the FC Network over the Terry Rosen podcast. Shout out to my dogs CJ and Darryl over at I Ain't Going. Everybody that just sent well wishes and support. My dog P held me down for months. I was calling him on the phone, losing my mind, and he really just talked me off a ledge, told me to stay down. That's something that, you know what I'm saying, it's just deeper than rap. We used to tell each other that years ago when we was in school. Stay down, stay down, stay down. Just stay down. It's a very real sentiment. So shout out to my loved ones for keeping me lifted up. I appreciate y'all for bringing me back to where I needed to be. MG, bro, thank you, big dog, for real. Like I said, when I put the back signal up, you fell out the sky to help me, man. So I appreciate you, brother, 1,000,000%.
Brother.
With that being said, man, we appreciate y'all tapping in with us each and every time we do it. We back in full effect. We're going to stay with y'all throughout the NBA season. We're going to have tons to talk about. We're going to have some giveaways. We're going to have some stuff to keep y'all engaged with the MVP, the most valuable podcast in the game. Like I said, don't forget to check us out. Y'all can hit us up in the mailbag, hitmenpodcast@gmail.com. Check us out on the socials, @hitmenpodcast, @labeled_and_on, @virtuoso sports. And don't ever forget in your life, kid,
what happened here was a miracle, and I want you to acknowledge it.
1,000,000%.
All right, it was a miracle. Can we go now?
Episode 80 with a bullet. We gone. Holla.
Kobe Bryant just sucked the gravity out of the target center.